You're trying to choose between Ontario and Rancho Cucamonga, do not make this decision by telling yourself, Ontario is cheaper and Rancho is nicer. That is way too simplistic. And honestly, that is exactly how buyers end up in the wrong city. Because yes, the price gap is real. In February 2026, the median sale price in Ontario was $630,000 and in Rancho Cucamonga it was $777,500. Ontario homes averaged 70 days on market with 89 homes sold. Rancho averaged 47 days on market with 86 homes sold. So Rancho is not just more expensive, it is also moving faster. But this decision is not just about price. It is about what kind of life you want. It is about whether you care more about new construction or established neighborhoods. Whether you care more about airport access and convenience or foothill feel and neighborhood prestige. Whether you want to maximize value or maximize fit. And those are not always the same thing. So in this video, I'm going to break down Ontario versus Rancho Cucamonga the way I would with a real buyer. Market numbers, specific pockets, schools, new construction, shopping access, and the real life things you need to think through before you choose one. And before we get into the details, here's the quick version. If your priority is value, newer master plan living, airport convenience, and more flexibility for the money, Ontario deserves a very serious look. If your priority is a more established premium feel, foothill neighborhoods, district-sensitive schools, shopping, and stronger pocket-by-pocket lifestyle appeal, Rancho Cucamonga is often the city buyers are willing to pay more for. Hi, I'm Rebecca Tekeian, realtor here in Southern California, and as both a realtor and a licensed professional clinical counselor, one thing I pay a lot of attention to is decision regret. Because the house is only part of the decision. What people actually feel after they move is the routine. The school logistics, the errands, the drive, the weekends, the neighborhood feel, and whether the house still feels worth it once real life kicks in. Quick note before we jump in, this is general education, not financial, legal, or tax advice. Market stats can change and school attendance boundaries can shift, so always verify the exact address, payment, and school assignment before you make a move. Now, let's start with a market story. Ontario is a more affordable city overall right now. Again, Ontario was $630,000 in February 2026. Rancho Cucamonga was $777,500. That is nearly a $150,000 gap at the median. And for a lot of buyers, that difference changes the entire monthly payment conversation. But the more important thing is this. Neither city is one simple number. The Ontario conversation changes a lot depending on where you are looking. In Ontario Ranch, the February 2026 median was about $655,334. In Ontario Centre, it was about $540,000. And in North Ontario, it was about $600,000. So Ontario is not just one housing experience. It ranges from older, more established, more value-driven pockets to much newer master planned communities and pockets. Rancho Cucamonga is even more segmented. In Southwest Rancho Cucamonga, the median was about $689,500. In Terra Vista, about $680,000. In Victoria, about $840,000. In Alta Loma, over $1 million. In Etiwanda, $1,017,000. So when somebody says, I want Rancho, my first question is always, which Rancho are we talking about? Because those are very different price points, very different neighborhood feels, and very different buyer experiences. Now, let's talk about Ontario first. When I think about Ontario, I think about three different conversations. The first is Ontario Ranch. Ontario Ranch is one of the biggest reasons Ontario has become such a serious option for buyers. The City of Ontario says Ontario Ranch spans 13 square miles and is the largest master planned community in Southern California. So if you want newer homes, newer streetscapes, more community amenities, and a more planned out feel, Ontario Ranch is usually the Ontario pocket buyers are really talking about. And inside that world, communities like New Haven really matter. New Haven promotes 6 parks and more, pools, walkable retail, and over 15 acres of amenities. It also has New Haven Marketplace, which includes everyday retail like Stater Brothers, Starbucks, Jersey Mike's, Chase Banks, Great Clips, and other neighborhood-serving businesses, plus Rodeo X and Brewhaven nearby as well. So if you want a newer lifestyle package, low maintenance, feeling community, that is a very real Ontario advantage. The second Ontario conversation is the more convenience-driven core around the airport, Ontario Mills and Toyota Arena. This is where Ontario feels extremely practical. Ontario Mills has more than 200 stores, and Toyota Arena hosts over 125 events annually. Ontario International Airport says it offers up to 90 daily nonstop flights to more than 30 destinations. So if you are a frequent flyer, or you want major shopping and entertainment close by, or you just like the idea of a city that feels efficient and easy to move around from, Ontario has a real strength there. The third Ontario conversation is older, central, or North Ontario. That is where you can sometimes find a different value story. More established housing stock, a little more variation, and in some cases, a lower entry point than Ontario Ranch. That can be a great fit for the buyer who wants Ontario convenience without paying for the full master plan premium. But it also means you need to look more carefully at block by block feel, property condition, and what kind of neighborhood environment you actually want. All right, now let's talk about Rancho Cucamonga. Rancho is usually the city buyers look at when they want a more established, more tiered, more premium feeling suburban experience. And again, this is not one note. The first Rancho conversation is Southwest Rancho and Terra Vista. This is where a lot of buyers get their first realistic entry point into Rancho. Those areas were around $689,500 and $680,000 in February 2026, which means there are Rancho entry points that are not automatically seven figures. So if somebody says, I want Rancho, but I'm not shopping at $1 million, this is often where the conversation starts. The second Rancho conversation is Victoria and the Victoria Gardens area. This is where the lifestyle conversation gets stronger. Victoria's median was around $840,000 in February 2026, and the city's economic materials describe Victoria Gardens as one of the top visited lifestyle centers in the US, with over 14 million shoppers annually. That matters because for a lot of buyers, they are not just paying for a house, they are paying for the feeling of having that open air retail, dining, events, and walkable lifestyle center environment built into their weekly life. The third Rancho conversation is Alta Loma, Etiwanda, and North Etiwanda. This is where Rancho really starts to feel different from Ontario. These are the pockets where buyers often pay a premium for foothill location, larger home neighborhoods in some areas, stronger pocket identity, and a more aspirational residential feel. Again, February 2026 medians were about $1 million in Alta Loma and about $1,017,000 in Etiwanda and $1.227 million in North Etiwanda. That is not the same buyer conversation as Terra Vista, and it is definitely not the same buyer conversation as Ontario Centre. Rancho also has some lifestyle and access pieces that buyers care about a lot. The city highlights North Etiwanda Preserve as a major outdoor amenity, and it also highlights Cucamonga Station as a multimodal transportation hub that is planned to become the first U.S. high-speed rail station with direct connection to air, bus, and local passenger rail. That is huge! So for some buyers, Rancho is not just about the house. It is about the combination of foothill feel, established pocket identity, and future-oriented transportation access. Now, let's talk about schools, because this is a huge part of why buyers compare these two cities. And I want to be really careful here. I am not going to tell you one district is better for your family. That is personal, address specific, and something you should verify yourself. But I am going to tell you how the school conversation usually works in each city. Let's start with Ontario. In Ontario, you have Ontario Montclair School District, Mountain View School District, Chino Valley Unified, Cucamonga School District, and Chaffey Joint Union High School District. Ontario Montclair says it serves over 22,000 students with 22 schools in Ontario, including 4 international baccalaureate schools, a STEM academy, and GATE programming. Mountain View is located in the Ontario Ranch area, and all 4 schools are California Distinguished Schools. So in Ontario, school research is absolutely an address-by-address conversation. In Rancho Cucamonga, the school conversation is also very pocket-driven. The planning materials identify Alta Loma School District, Central School District, Cucamonga School District, and Etiwanda School District within Rancho Cucamonga, with high school paths commonly feeding into Chaffey Joint Union High School District. Etiwanda maintains official district boundary maps. Cucamonga School District serves parts of Rancho and Ontario and operates 3 elementary schools and 1 middle school. So in Rancho, buyers are often shopping not just by city, but by district pocket. And if this is helping you narrow things down, here's the best next step. Text me your top 2 priorities or your top 2 neighborhoods, and I'll tell you which city I think you should focus on first. So if your real question is something like new construction versus established neighborhoods, or school boundaries versus monthly payment, or Ontario Ranch versus a Rancho pocket like Terra Vista or Victoria, text me that. Because with these 2 cities especially, the smartest move is usually coming from choosing the right pocket, not just the right city name. Now, let's talk about new construction, because this is where Ontario has a very real edge. So if new construction is high on your list, Ontario is usually the stronger first stop. Ontario Ranch is simply a much bigger new construction ecosystem, and communities like New Haven are built around the kind of package many buyers want right now. Newer finishes, community amenities, and neighborhood retail that is already built into the area. That does not mean Rancho has no new construction. It does. For example, Lennar Sycamore Heights in Rancho is actively selling condos from the low $500,000 with available homes roughly in the $545,000–$625,000 range at the time when I checked. Lennar also shows Vinova as a coming soon community in Rancho with single-family homes around 2,600 to 3,800 square feet as well. So Rancho absolutely has new build opportunities as well. My read is just that Ontario offers it at a greater scale and with a more obvious master planned identity, while Rancho's new build story feels more selective and more pocketed. That last part is my professional read based on the current city patterns and active builder inventory, as well as a physical map. You're talking 13 square miles of planned community in Ontario Ranch compared to specific pockets out in Rancho Cucamonga. Now, let's talk about real life, because this is where buyers either feel really happy after they move or second guess the whole decision. If you are someone who travels a lot, values fast access to the airport, likes being close to major retail, or wants a city that feels very practical for errands and movement, Ontario is usually going to feel easier. Airport, shopping, events, newer master planned options, that is a very coherent lifestyle. If you are someone who cares more about foothill setting, district-sensitive schools, shopping, access to places like Victoria Gardens, and the feeling of being in a city with stronger neighborhood hierarchy from one pocket to the next, Rancho Cucamonga usually hits differently. And for a lot of buyers, that difference is exactly what they are paying for. So here is my honest breakdown. Choose Ontario first if your priorities are more value, more flexibility, stronger, larger scale new construction, easier airport convenience, and a lifestyle that feels efficient and practical. Choose Rancho Cucamonga first if your priorities are more established pocket identity, more premium feeling neighborhoods, stronger district sensitive areas, shopping, foothill lifestyle, and a city that many buyers are willing to pay extra for. And if you are sitting in that middle range where Ontario feels doable but Rancho feels tempting, the real question is this: do you want more house and newer packaging? Or do you want the Rancho address and everything that tends to come with it? That is the real decision. The biggest mistake buyers make here is treating Ontario and Rancho like they are close substitutes. They are not. Ontario solves more for value, growth, and new construction flexibility. Rancho solves more for premium feel, stronger pocket identity, and district-driven demand. So if you are trying to decide between Ontario and Rancho Cucamonga, here is what I want you to do next. Text me your top 2 priorities or your top 2 neighborhoods. Tell me whether you care most about new construction, school boundaries, commute, shopping access, or monthly payment, and I will tell you which city and which pocket I think you should focus on first. Again, first, this does not mean this is set in concrete and your last decision forever and ever and ever. We're just taking a look at what pocket to start with first. And if you are ready to build a real strategy, use the consultation link below and book a call with me, because the goal is not just to choose the city that sounds better. The goal is to choose the one that actually fits your budget, your routine, and your real life. I'm Rebecca Tekeian, and whether you're looking at moving in 9 days, 90 days, I'll be more than happy to sit down, have a chat with you, and start planning your journey. Make sure to text or book the link below for the consultation, and I'll see you in the next one.